Yo, what is happening, folks, and welcome back to the HitLab Academy for YouTube with myself, Howie. In today's video, we are going to be having a look at my approach to producing lead vocals and recording lead vocals. I'm going to tell you guys what my processing was going through, and I'm going to show you guys how we tracked the song. The song we're going to be working on today is a song that we recently produced here at the HitLab with an artist called Conbad, who is a very good friend of mine, and the song is called Love of Gold. It is a really beautiful folk song, and you'll notice that there's magic in the simplicity of this song. It is a really simple production, but it's a clean production and a well-performed production. We didn't want to go overboard with the vocal arrangement because the music was so straightforward and simple, and the parts themselves aren't too simple, but the production of the music is relatively simple. We have very little elements in the song. The song is unreleased, and this is not the final mix of the song. This is just the demo mix because we actually wrapped up production of it a few days ago. So please don't expect to hear a fully produced final version of the song. This is the working mix, and it's the mix that will be going forward to final mix in time to come. But before we get into Love of Gold by Conbad, I just want to remind you guys to please head on over to the channel, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for instant notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down for the algorithm. Your engagement in the channel is really awesome, and it helps my channel grow, and it helps more people like yourselves find my channel and watch these videos. To all the new subscribers on the channel, welcome to our family. I hope you guys enjoy the journey. With that, we're gonna get into Love of Gold by Conbad. Let's have a listen through the song, and then I will break the vocal production up for you and explain to you and show you what we have done.
The story of us is better left forgotten for now. Yet the story of us ended up in folklore somehow. I do not recall the day I fell for you at all. Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Like a love of old, hold my hand, let our fingers grow old. Like a love of gold. The story of us is better left remembered in books, as the story of us isn't quite as perfect as it looks. But I do not recall a day I did not love you at all. Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Like a love of old, hold my hand, let our fingers grow old. Like a love of gold, oh, a hand to hold in the winter. It's so cold, I begin to feel the snow fall down on my forehead. Will my hands stay cold when I'm too shy to say hello? Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Like a love of old, hold my hand, let our fingers grow old. Like a love of gold, hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Hold my hand, let our fingers grow old. Like a love
All right, well, there we have it. That is Love of Gold by Conbad. And what a beautiful song. It is really, really a beautiful song. And I love, like I said earlier, the simplicity of the production. But let's get into the vocals and see what we did. All right, so all the vocals in this song were tracked on a Neumann U89 going through a Neve 1073 using an 1176 compressor. I didn't do much compression going inside. I had a medium attack with a fast release. And the compression going in was, I think, at about 2 or 3 dBs of gain reduction. And then I put a Pultec EQ on that going in as well, which I tracked. And all I did was just bump the lows a little bit to give it that round, warm, folky sound. And I think I just cut a bit of 1.5 hertz. That's sort of my go-to with those particular pieces of equipment. Is compress lead vocals at about 2 to 3 dBs of gain reduction going in, and then generally find those noisy spots within the EQ that I'm not enjoying and that I wouldn't want to print, just to make my mixing life a bit easier. Then the first thing to have a look at over here is I've got this lead vocal track over there. This lead vocal track is being summed or bussed, shall we say, to that bus over there where I've applied some effects. I've got a Sheps omni-channel strip over there with a bunch of things going on. But like I said, this is not a mixing tutorial. It's a recording of and producing lead vocals tutorial. So how we tracked these lead vocals was over there. If I zoom in over here, I actually just cut that out for silence. But the way the song was tracked is the song was tracked from top to bottom. He performed it as if he was performing it with the band. All the instrumentation was played by Conrad himself. And we obviously tracked that all separately, starting with drums, then bass, then acoustics, then piano, etc. But the lead vocal was one long performance because we wanted it to feel like a performance. As the song progresses, the vocal progresses because the singer's in that mindset while he or she is performing the song. And Conbad, in this particular example, just gave me the best delivery when he sang the song from top to bottom. But that's not to say we didn't drop anything in. So what we did was we tracked the song from top to bottom 3 times. As you can see over there, there's the first take over there, second take, third take, and then we basically kept a little demo take that he had done previously, which I used for some of the drop-ins and some of the words that I wasn't quite happy with and felt we didn't capture in the initial 3 recordings of the lead vocal. And I've made use of take folders over here, as you can see. If you haven't already yet, please go and have a look at my video about take folders and basically editing and selecting different performances within one performance. So that's the lead vocal. Pretty much, that's it. One straight down the middle, panned in the middle of the stereo field, and it is driving the song. Everything else that's to come is there to support that lead vocal. And if I take all the processing off over here, including the reverb, let me just play you what the raw lead vocal file sounds like. And you'll hear there is a little bit of processing that did get tracked while we were recording the lead vocal.
Like a love of old, hold my hand, let our fingers grow old. Like a love of gold.
And if we open up that WAV file a little bit more, you can actually see, if we zoom in, that there was some compression being applied. I was basically just trying to catch all those peaking transients going in so that I could get a nice smooth WAV file to work with in post-production. Then the next thing I did on this was I went in, and this is sort of very standard for me at the Hit Lab, is I love to always put a double and a triple in just for left and right in the stereo field to help accentuate certain parts of the song. So I wanted to accentuate the chorus of the song and make it feel a little bit different to the rest of the song and lift the song a bit. So I just went in and I did a left double and a right triple, which is singing the exact same thing as the lead vocal. If I play them by themselves, you can see they panned at about 10 and 2 o'clock. That one being at 10, that one being at 2, on my left and my right pan. Let's have a listen to these doubles, then I'll open these doubles with the lead vocal and you can actually have a listen to what the effect is of adding doubles to a lead vocal performance is.
Hold my hand, let our fingers feel their folds.
Alright, now if I open up the lead vocal with that.
Hold my hand.
But let me roll from a little bit before so you can hear what it does as those doubles and triples kick in.
Day I did not love you at all. Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds.
So it's basically just a unison double of the lead vocal in order to widen the lead vocal without using an actual digital widener or a delay or something like that. Then the next thing I did, this is actually a trick that has been used in music for the longest time, but I came across it and sort of realized what was going on with a lot of Ed Sheeran's production, where he puts the falsetto unison on top to add an extra layer to that one lead vocal. Let's have a listen. What I've done here is I've got a falsetto duplicate, really. So it's the same lead vocal, just the octave up in falsetto, panned hard right and panned hard left. It's a double on the falsetto with the doubles and the triples, which I've put at 10 and 2. So you can see the fanning pattern I've got going on there. We've got the lead vocal in the center, then we've got the doubles just over there, and then we have the falsetto sitting really wide over there and there. And in a final mix scenario, I would probably stereo image those falsettos a little bit as well and give them a slightly longer reverb. But like I mentioned earlier, this is a demo mix. But have a listen to the falsettos on their own, and then I will add them to that chorus so you can hear the effect that we're getting.
Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds.
So I've given them a very nice little slap reverb, which is pretty cool. And then if I add the lead vocal plus the doubles and the triples and everything to those falsettos, you'll have a listen. You get a nice, lush group vocal sound, but yet it's the same singer singing the song, and the melody's not changing, the notes aren't changing. It's simply but an octave up and 2 unison doubles. This is what it sounds like. I'll roll from a little bit before so that you can have a listen to what it sounds like when all of that kicks in on the chorus and how it lifts that lead vocal.
Day I did not love you at all. Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Like a love of old, hold my hand, let our fingers grow old. Like a love of gold, oh, a hand.
So you can hear there's a little bit of cleaning up I still got to do on the breaths and stuff there, but that's the general effect that you get from this technique, adding a double and a triple with a falsetto octave up and then a double of that falsetto octave up. Then if we move on to the backing vocals, you'll see there isn't a lot going on at all over here. Basically, we've got this at the top of the song, which is a very, very simple whistle, which is more like an effect. So if I play that, firstly, Conrad whistles really nice. I can't whistle like that. But yeah, a simple whistle in the middle, and that is the hook. So let me open that up with the music and you can have a listen. That's the grabbing hook at the top of the song that is, in theory, designed to grab your attention when you hear the song for the first time. So yeah, that's the whistle at the top of the song. It's separate to the lead, so it in theory forms a part of the lead vocal. Then in verse 2, I felt we just needed one harmony in verse 2 to lift it and almost feel like a folk duet. You know, it's the same singer, it's the same guy singing, but I wanted it to feel like he's performing a folk duet with possibly someone else, but it is actually just one singer. So we went for one harmony sitting in the center of the mix with the other lead vocal so that the two of them are in exactly the same space and they work together as if it were two singers singing together. So I didn't want to separate it by panning it. I always find with a duet, if you pan one voice, it tends to separate that voice from the other one's performance. And I'll show you an A-B of that. So let's pan the track to, say, 3 o'clock on the right-hand side and have a listen to what this verse sounds like.
The story of us is better left remembered in books as the story
All right, so it sounds a little bit disconnected and a bit weird if you listen to it on headphones and stuff. But if I put that right in the middle, of the pan, you'll notice instantly, it's almost as if your attention is being drawn to both vocals, which is the idea. That is exactly what we want to happen when you hear this verse 2. You want to be drawn to both the singers, even though it is the same singer. I wanted it to feel like a folk duet. Let's have a listen to that now with the pan in the center.
The story of us is better left remembered in books, as the story of us isn't quite as perfect as it looks.
So that's basically the effect. We wanted it to sound like a folk duet rather than a backing vocal on a lead vocal. Then we've got these two voices over here. Let's have a listen to them.
Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds.
And that is a very simple harmony that we added to chorus 2, because the way that the song is structured, when you listen to it before we started the video, you will notice that chorus 2 is, in theory, essentially the biggest part of the song. And then the play out sort of gets a little bit more dramatic, but that is the biggest part of the song. So I decided to add one more layer of voices to that. And let's have a listen to what that harmony sounds like along with all the other vocals open. And you'll see it is basically just the extra addition to that section of the song to lift the song. If I'm not mistaken, I think we even added an organ. Yes, we did. In that second chorus, we added an organ with some additional percussion just to lift it from the first chorus and make it feel slightly bigger before we go into the dramatic section of the song. But have a listen to what that harmony does in the mix. Well, first with the vocal solo, then I'll open the mix and you can have a listen.
It all. Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Like a lover hold my hand, let our fingers grow. Like a love of gold, no hand to hold it.
So it basically just opens that second chorus up and makes it feel bigger than the first chorus. And it gives the song a sense of progression. We're climbing. We're not just staying in the same place, and we're not just playing a verse into a chorus from a verse to a chorus. Right, then the lead vocal sort of breaks out and goes into like a solo sort of vocal for the bridge. And then we've got a couple of vamps of the chorus. But now what happens with this last chorus is that you'll notice the chord progression changes and the song becomes slightly darker and slightly more serious. And this is what I really like, because if you listen to the lyrical content is relatively serious. It's not completely all happy clappy and love songy. It's serious. It's talking about living a life together with someone you love. And we decided to go for a slightly more intense vocal sound over here, but still restricting ourselves and not putting 4 or 3-part harmonies onto the section. We opted for a more ad-lib style vocal. So it is a solo lead vocal that basically sings through, and then as the part progresses, more vocals get added. We add the doubles and the triples over there, and then we add the falsettos over there as soon as the chord changes to accentuate that tense chord change that is happening. But then the part that I want to actually bring notice to is these voices over here, the hums. So those hums are going to come in under the mix and really enhance the track. The biggest thing you're going to notice is that those hums sound a lot bigger than what they just did right now. And that is because I went in and I programmed a choir, a male choir, using the Contact Library voices. And I added that choir just to add the intensity and the size to the natural voices. I wanted to add a digital choir to the natural voices, and it gave me a result of size and width and intensity. And that's what we went for in this section of the song. And when we come to final mix, I'm pretty sure we are going to enhance the reverbs in this section as well, just to space it out a little bit more and enhance the drama happening in this part of the song. So let me play that for you. It's the hums, which is Conrad's voice, and then the digital choir voices, which I've added on top of that just over there. And if I take those choir voices out, and put them back in, it just sounds really huge. Let me take out the natural hums from Conrad and play just the choir voices alone. On their own, they don't sound so great, but if we incorporate all these voices, then it sounds really great. And you can hear there's a lot more attack and there's more punch to that ensemble sound that we're going for. So let's open up that whole chorus down section, and then you can have a listen through and you can hear how these various elements sort of get added in as the song progresses to the outro.
Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their fold like a love of old. Hold my hand, let our fingers grow old like
Big voices in now.
Hold my hand, let our fingers fill their folds. Hold my hand, let our fingers grow old like a love of gold.
Yeah, that's basically it. And you can see we added a couple of orchestral elements over here, all programmed stuff, of course, but that was just to add to the width and the size of that part of the song. We didn't want the whole song to feel big like that, but this sort of end chorus vamp section, we wanted it to sound dramatic and big and sort of bring a bit of realness to the happiness of love, in theory. At least that's my approach to the song. Conrad, if I got that wrong, please let me know down below. This is what the orchestral perks sound like, just out of interest, that we added to sort of give it that size. You can hear massive reverbs for days. We wanted it to sound like it was in a massive, massive hall, and we just wanted to give size to the section. Well, folks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it's given you some ideas for when you track your lead vocals at your house or in a studio or wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, do all those things, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Until then, peace.